Please be in focus. Hey guys, today I'm going to be showing you how you can go through your footage super fast in Premiere Pro. So this technique is especially handy when you've just come back from a shoot. Maybe it was an event, or maybe you've just come back from traveling and you've taken just so many B-roll shots. Sometimes it can be quite daunting, so know that you have like 100 or 200 clips to go through, and you want to go through them in a way that's really fast and efficient. So I'm going to teach you guys a way, mainly using keyboard shortcuts. I can't stress enough how important it is that your footage is organized. So what I like to do, say if I'm coming back from a trip, is I'll make a folder for the project itself. Within that folder, I'll have a separate folder called footage, and then within the footage folder, I'll have a separate folder for each camera. Once you've got your footage organized, drag that whole footage folder into the Premiere Pro project window. So in here, in the project window panel, I've got my footage folder. Your project panel may be located around here. I think I've moved mine around. And what's great about this is Premiere Pro actually retains the folder structure that we had in the Finder. So we've got all our clips here and they're all nice and organized. So once it's all loaded up, what you're going to do is the process called METALOGGIng. METALOGGIng is basically a fancy term for when you go through all your footage and you pick out the best takes, and maybe you label it, which were the good takes or what's happening in each take. And it's basically the first step to get your footage organized. So what I like to do is to grab all the footage that I want and just put it into one timeline called, maybe B-roll or something like that. And then that's sort of like the first pass that I go through. I'm just looking through the clips and going, yep, this is usable, this is good, or no, this isn't. And then from that, I can start building the rest of my edit. But I like to have everything laid out on a timeline. And then later, when I'm editing a montage, I'll just go back and grab things from that timeline rather than having to refer to the original source files. So to create a new sequence, just grab any clip and drag it over to this button here. That will create a new sequence that has the same properties as the original clip. And so here I've got my sequence ready to go. So I'm just going to switch over to my METALOGGIng workspace, and we're going to start going through the footage. Basically, what we want to do is find a way to go through the footage without our hands leaving the keyboard. This is pretty much the way you're going to get the fastest editing, because every time your hand sort of moves to grab the mouse, that's time lost. And when you're thinking about sequences of say 100 or 200 clips, those extra few seconds make a big difference overall. So the first thing you're going to want to do is just check that your keyboard shortcuts are set correctly. So to do this, you can go to Edit Keyboard Shortcuts, or the shortcut for that is Alt+K. So just make sure that this area of your screen matches mine. If it doesn't, say if you were missing the marking, all you have to do is go to this search bar over here and drag that in the correct place. Also, make sure that there's nothing on your B and your N keys, and I'll talk a little bit more about why that's important later on. Say if there was something there, for example, all you need to do is over here, just press that little X button. All right, so the first keyboard shortcuts that we're going to learn is using the I and the O key. So they're going to be used to set the in and out points for the clip. That's basically which part of the clip that you want to grab to put into your timeline. So say if we, for example, look at this clip here, it kind of starts off good at the beginning, then I'm moving around, and then there's another usable bit at the end. So we don't want to grab the whole clip to put in the timeline. So if we go back to the beginning, I'm going to let it play, going to press I to set my in point, and then O to set my out point, just before it starts sort of moving. And once I have that, you can drag that into your timeline. So if we continue letting it roll, and then again I'm going to press I for my in point, and O for my out point. And I'm just going to grab this section here. Next we're going to look at using the J and L keys. Pressing L will allow you to go faster, and you can press it multiple times to increase the speed. Pressing J will allow you to shuttle backwards, and again you can increase the speed by pressing it multiple times. So L for going forwards, and J for going backwards. So now moving on to using the comma and dot shortcuts. Instead of dragging the part of the clip that you want into the timeline, there is a quicker way. Say we had our marker here on the timeline, and I want to grab, let's say, my in point here, my out point here. So if I press the comma, it's going to basically insert the clip here, but push all the clips back on the timeline. However, if you press the dot, which is for the overwrite edit, it's just going to sit right where you put it, even if it means overriding over a certain clip. So you can see insert and then overwrite. Here it doesn't matter too much, because basically when we're going through the footage, the marker of the timeline is always going to be at the end. So because there isn't any footage after it, it's not going to make too much difference whether you press the comma or the dot in this case. So say here, if we wanted to, press the comma, and then if we went to the next clip, press our in point, maybe shut a little bit faster, press our out point, and then press the comma, and we've got it down there. So unfortunately, Premiere doesn't have a built-in shortcut key to go from one clip to the next in the project window. So what we're going to use is a separate program called Autohotkey. So Autohotkey is a free program. It allows you to create your own keyboard shortcuts or hotkeys to automate certain tasks. Unfortunately, it is only for Windows. So if you have a Mac, I'm sure there are alternatives out there. I'm just not sure which ones are the best ones. So once you've got Autohotkey installed, right click on your desktop, go New Autohotkey Script, and then you want to rename that file something along the lines of Premiere Pro METALOGGING with the extension .ahk. Once you've done that, just right click and go Edit Script. This will bring up the notepad, and then just paste this text in. I've left it in the description for you. So basically this script, what it's saying is if the active window is Premiere Pro, when you press the N key, it's going to do these keystrokes here. And that is the combination of keystrokes that you would normally need to press to go to the next clip on Premiere. And likewise, if you press B, it's going to press these keystrokes and it's going to take you back to the previous clip. So N for next and B for back. This just tells you how to suspend the hotkeys. So to press Alt+Z to suspend and Alt+Z again to resume. So you want to save that and then just close that up. It's just double click on that file and the script will start running. And the way you know it's running is there's a little H in the bottom right corner. So now if we go to Premiere Pro and select a clip, when we press the N key, it's going to take us to the next clip in our project window. And if we missed a bit of footage and we want to go back, we can press the B key. So there you have it. That is the B and the N keys. All right, let's start going through some footage. Here's our original clip from before. So again, I'm going to grab this beginning bit, press my out point, go through there, fast forward the bit where it's all shaky because I'm moving, and again, press my in point here, and just grab that bit there. Oh, maybe a bit further along, go back a bit, just grab that bit there. Put that in, go to the next clip. You've got a clip of my sister walking. Maybe grab it again from here. Or maybe grab it from just before she turns around, because that's a pretty cute moment. And until there. You can basically just keep going through your footage like this, and your hands don't even have to leave the keyboard. Now let's just go through a couple of things that could go wrong. So sometimes you may want to add a short description to your clip. I tend to use this sparingly when I'm going through B-roll because I find it's quite time consuming to try and describe what's in each clip. So say I have this shot of me with some Swiss chocolate overlooking a nice view of Geneva. So I might want to just write something like chocolate in Geneva. Sometimes when using Autohotkey, you can get funky results like this when you're trying to type, because if you try and type any word which has the B or the N key, Autohotkey is going to apply that hotkey that you set without realizing that you're just trying to write the letter. You're not trying to use the keyboard shortcut. So the way to get around this is to temporarily suspend the script. So you can either go right click here and go suspend hotkeys, and you'll see this turns into an S. Or you can press the shortcut Alt+Z. So you can see it's turned into S for suspend, and then Alt+Z again to resume the hotkeys. So here, if we just start over, I'm going to press Alt+Z to suspend, and then I'm going to write chocolate in Geneva. So that is just something you need to remember if you want to write something in the description that does include the letters B or N, which is quite a lot of words. You just want to make sure you have the hotkey suspended whilst you're doing that. I think at the beginning I used to start and leave really detailed descriptions in clips, and then I realized that that process just took too long. And if there's a clip I really like, I might make a note of it here or write the location, but I tend to just smash out just going through the footage, and then I'll have it all on the timeline here. So that's about it from me today. I completely forgot to introduce myself at the beginning of this video. My name is Chloe, I'm a videographer based in Sydney, Australia. And this is actually my first tutorial style video on YouTube. So I'm still getting used to this process of speaking to camera. So I hope I made sense and that you guys learned something. If you did enjoy this video, please leave a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more of these types of videos, please hit subscribe. And if you have any tips that you yourself use to make this process of going through footage a bit faster, whether it's keyboard shortcuts or perhaps another technique that you use, please leave a comment down below. I would love to hear them. And perhaps we can all exchange tips and tricks and just become faster and more efficient editors. And that's pretty much it. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I will see you guys in the next video.